Welcome home, where we provide information, inspiration, and motivator after motivator after motivator here on America's Next. I have Stafford Echols here with me today. How you doing, Stafford?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I want to say hello to everybody who's tuning in tonight, whether you be on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Facebook, or YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to our videos. It means a lot when you do that, and it also means a lot when you drop a comment and participate in the audience. Thanks for being here, everybody. Stafford, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, brother. It's a good day, man. You know, we as black people, we getting justice. You get what I'm saying? And it's not the change of all, but you know what I'm saying, it's a start. So I'm feeling good just based off that.
Okay. What are you talking about specifically?
In particular, I'm talking about the Derek Chauvin case as far as the murder of George Floyd last summer.
Okay.
That's something that it had us all tense as a culture. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just it's sad that it's like a reoccurring cycle we see so happening so much where we're losing our own to law enforcement, and you get what I'm saying? They just getting off, and everybody today was just thinking that the man was just gonna walk away from sitting on that man's neck. Like we saw a lynching on live TV in current today, and we was thinking that man, it was a chance that man could have gotten off because of the justice system. But it went the other way. Things went the other way, and it's time for us to celebrate as a culture. Now we still have to look at his sentencing, of course, but as a whole, we saw guilty across the board. We never see that, you know what I'm saying? So we have to clap hands on that. So that's what I'm saying. I feel good about that myself as a black man, who has dealt with police brutality. So I felt good about it, honestly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Where do you feel we go from here in terms of accountability for one another and accountability for the government? Where do you see us going from here?
Honestly, like I said, we gotta hold everybody accountable. And I said everybody accountable, we can't just hold, we gotta hold each other accountable as a whole. It's not race or anything in that nature. Like for instance, black people, we gotta hold each other accountable. What's going on in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm we're our own worst enemy at times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that's the case every time, but we can be each other's worst enemy. And
Okay.
you know, and also we gotta hold people whites accountable as well when it comes down to racism, uh, police brutality. Also, we gotta hold each other accountable as, how can I look at it? People as a human race,
Mm-hmm.
homophobia, racism, everything. We just gotta, we gotta. The world is not perfect. We know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we gotta
Mm-hmm.
be better. We gotta be. It starts with us, and the less ignorance and less hate we absorb, and we put that out into the universe, it's like you're paying it forward. And I feel like it'll take a hold of everyone as a whole. So like I said, accountability and just being better people in general. We're not perfect, but of course, it's one day at a time.
I think that it is heroic of you to open up a conversation where we're going to explore your life, talking about the justice that we saw today, what appeared to be justice today, and how we need to hold each other accountable and how we need to hold ourselves accountable. I think that was very big of you, and I think that is a great segue to talk about accountability. What is accountability to you? What is it?
Accountability is just holding a mirror to ourselves. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody telling us or holding us accountable. It does. I feel like that's part two, but I feel like it starts within us, and we hold a mirror up to ourselves as
Mm-hmm.
individuals, and that comes with growth, and that's how we change ourselves and try to be better in our everyday lives, whether it's our eating habits, whether it's our, what I'm saying, our way we treat people. It starts with something. You know what I'm saying? It could be something random throughout the day where you I've done this in an instance or two, like where I start the day off. I'm feeling good. I woke up. God still have breath in my body, which a lot of people don't. And I might go to Starbucks or something, man. And one time I paid for the person behind me. Or you go to another restaurant
Mhm.
and you pay for the
Mhm.
person that's behind you. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You pay for somebody else's food. That makes you feel good and know you did a good deed for the day. And it's all about paying it forward. That's the person I am. I'm about paying it
Mhm.
forward. You gotta do right by people, and people gonna do right by not everyone, but you do right by certain individuals. And like I said, what you do will resonate with someone else, and then cause them to be a better person. It's all, like I said, that's accountability to me. Like just hold a mirror on ourselves and try to be better people. Try to be better than we were yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
There comes a time in our life where we have to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
We have to say exactly how we feel, what exactly we are looking for change in, how that change can be made. We've got to be solution oriented, and we've got to be frank in our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability to me looks like saying, I had a problem with alcohol and I dealt with it. I
Gotcha.
had a problem with smoking and I dealt with it. I had a problem with bullying people and I dealt with it. I had a dietary problem and I dealt with it. I had a
Gotcha.
financial problem and I dealt with it. We have to take accountability to an exact level where it really means something. Accountability is one of those words that if it does not go specifically translated, it can prevent us from doing some good work just because we're using that word. When we say we've got to hold each other accountable, but then we don't actually take account of what people are going through in our communities. Hey, listen, I need to know your story because you exist. That's accountability. Step up to the plate and share your story. That's accountability. If you don't share your story, somebody out there is going to potentially miss out on the spiritual food that they need in order to fix their flaws. And so I think that it's very bold of you to open up this conversation with accountability. And now I want to talk to you a little bit about your childhood. Where were you born and what was it like? Be specific.
Well, I was born at Westlake Hospital, Melrose Park, in the west suburbs.
Okay.
And it was
What
my
city? What
family.
city? What state?
Melrose Park, Illinois. I'm sorry, that was something I
Oh,
should have been. As you said, be specific. But yeah, it was the Melrose Park, Illinois. That's the hospital I was born in. That's where my mom was registered at. She had that hospital. My mom, who's dead by the way, may she rest in peace. She,
wow.
my mom, yeah, man. So say it gets deep. My mom was one of those people who was a overachiever. She didn't want to. She never uh settled for less. She never, she was one of those people that what she took. She's gonna strive for higher. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? And she
Mhm.
didn't want to have me at the county. She didn't want to have me at some rinky dink hospital. And I'm not saying that because everyone's not afforded those privileges. My mom wasn't privileged, but she had it where she can see her doctor at the hospital. So
Right.
Melrose Park is it's like in the west suburbs of Chicago, and Westlake is one of the better hospitals. I mean, one of the better hospitals over there, and
Okay.
that's what she had me at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, it
What was
was
the what was the what was the context? What was going on in the world when you came here? What was going on in your family? Was everything good? Was everything fine? Were there adversities? What type of world did you come into? Talk about it.
well, no, my world wasn't just fine. I'm not gonna say I had a bad childhood, but I came in, I don't want to say black culture. I want to say black culture as a whole. Sometimes we see things too early as a kid, and you know my uh my mom and dad, they wasn't they wasn't they loved each other. I understand they loved each other, but they were young and they married young. So
Hmm.
I saw certain things at home as far as just being around. Like I said, it takes a village, bro. And it's certain things that I saw. Whether it was my father. My father was a we. I felt like most men are. You get what I'm saying? And he had my mom. What I'm saying, my mom was gone for him. She, how most women are. They fall in love with a man, and sometimes they're not who they are or who they pretend to be, and just because you love them you stick around. So when I came
Hmm.
home, like I said, my parents treated me well. They treated me well. I didn't have a bad childhood, but I saw certain things, and I saw like infidelity. I saw fights, arguments, and it was very like I saw toxic relationship. I saw my
Okay.
parents, and honestly I said I saw my parents, and I honestly said that I didn't want to get married. You get what I'm saying? Because I saw things, and I felt like that made me not want to get married. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, you
Okay.
know, it was just certain things, man. It was just like seeing certain things. Like I tell you, it takes a village.
That's right.
I grew up in the west side of the west suburbs and the west side of Chicago, all in that area. So
Okay.
I seen a lot, man, and a lot of people inspire me. I saw a lot of my parents, people who they were close to, my family, and it was just a lot of things, man. Just seeing so much, man, and it was just that's one of the reasons I became a writer, because it was like therapy to me. You get what I'm saying? So,
When did you start writing? When did you initially begin to write?
well, in first grade, uh, in first grade, I liked Arthur. You know Arthur, right? You used to come on
Yeah. Yep.
PBS. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the creator and author of the books is Mark Brown. So
Okay.
I used to read those books, man. I was one of those kids, man. I didn't grow up in sports. I didn't grow up in just doing athletic or being the most active. I was real chill child. I like to watch movies and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But um I read the author books and I saw Mark Brown, and I just love those books, man. And
Right.
I had my mother order because I used to have book fairs at school, and I had my
Yep.
mother order the whole entire set for me. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I used to just read those books, man. When I get bored, like I said, if I don't want to watch TV, I just want to read and
Right.
be in my own mind. I'll
Hmm.
read those books, and that inspired me to write, because I just loved how Mark Brown created those characters. He created a world. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that made me want to write. So when I, read that, I used to just write. When I get notebook paper, I get a stack of notebook paper, and I'll just create my own characters, and I'll
Hmm.
write these short stories.
Hmm.
So when I write the short stories, I don't know, it was just something. I just said, "Oh, I want to write a book. I want to write a book." But of course, you writing on notebook paper. It's nothing published or anything. But I felt good knowing I wrote a book.
Hmm.
And uh, then I entered a young authors contest, and like
How
I
old
said,
were you? How old were you when you entered the Young Authors Contest?
I was 7. I was 7, and
Wow.
yeah, man, that's what I said. Telling stories at a young age. I did that, into the contest, man, and I won. I won. Just and like I told you, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just entered, just
Right.
writing stories. Like I said, because it was like a form of therapy for me based on everything I was seeing.
Hmm.
So when I entered that, I came first place. I won first place. And like I said, again, I'm gonna reiterate, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just writing characters on a page and writing.
Do
And I
you
want go ahead.
and you're saying a lot of good things. Look out for my interjection. Sometimes you're going to be saying some things that I'm going to want to unpack a little bit and break down a little bit, because this is really good stuff. By the way, I used to love the Bernstein Bears series. So
Me too.
drop a number one in the chat if you have a favorite book series that you used to read. He liked Arthur. I liked Arthur too. More so the cartoon than the book, but I love the Bernstein Bears series. So
Me too.
you guys drop a number one in the chat if you can feel the imagery that he's providing tonight. So you entered the authors contest and you won. Do you remember that story? What was going on in that story? Do you remember it? Any parts
Yeah,
of it?
yes, I do. Vividly. It was basically, they had we wrote the stories, we turned it into our teachers.
Okay.
And I guess they went through it, and then they sent a letter home with our parents, basically, letting our parents let us know that my mom was so excited, like, oh, look, my mom used to call me Boo. She called me Boo. That was her name for
Okay.
me. And she like, oh, Boo, look, you. She was so excited to see that, I was so young, and I got accepted to something. Like, it was just like, okay. So they set a date for us to come to a school after hours, like nighttime, and we went there. They called all the finalists who got letters. It was like, I think it was like four or five of us, and they called us all out, and I was the number one. So I won. They gave me some type of a medal, a free pizza coupon, and
So
it was
Pizza
something
Hut.
else.
Don't say the Pizza
Yep.
Hut.
Boom. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
You just called it. Yeah. So it was Pizza Hut, free coupon Pizza Hut, and something else. I forgot what the third prize was, but like I said, it was just, we were kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was just like, oh, what everybody was just surprised how I could tell a story.
Right.
People say I could tell stories, and
Okay.
that's how that played out.
Now you are a young man. You're 7 years old. You are an introvert on the west side of Chicago. How did it feel for you getting on that stage and winning the first place prize? How did that feel for you in your world?
Uh, it felt kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I said again, I was an introvert. I'm still an
Mm-hmm.
introvert, and getting all that praise and for something, I was just it's surprised. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, okay, it felt good, but it was just like, man, you guys are making a big deal. This is how I was thinking back then. You're making a big
Right.
deal about me
Mm-hmm.
writing something, and I told you, I feel like I don't know what I was doing, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess people saw something,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me a Young Authors Award, so they called me a young author, and hey,
So
that's what it
at,
was.
at 7 years old, you began to call yourself an author?
Yeah, for a bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was middle school like for you? By you having less of an out extroverted personality in an area like the west side of Chicago, I believe it was pretty tough in your neighborhood, right?
Yes.
What was it like for you growing up there in middle school? You're a writer, you're an introvert, you like to spend time, reading. How were you treated in middle school?
Um, in middle school, I was treated fairly. I wasn't bullied, and I feel like that's because I went to Catholic school. Now, I went to Catholic school my 7th and 8th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom, I was going to another school. Like I said, man, Chicago public schools, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Shout out to the teachers, who deal what they got to deal with, but it's rough. I feel like, I'm not going to say all public schools, but some public schools it's kind of rough, man. It's very rough. It's like what you see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she had a certain type of a prejudice time towards public schools.
Okay.
So she pulled me out, man. She felt like, I told her, I was like, Mom, I'm not really learning a lot. Um, it's like it's always every day, and I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. Like, you got me at this school, but I'm not barely learning anything.
How did you know? How did you know that you weren't learning anything? Let's see if he's still with us. How did you know? How did you know that you weren't learning anything?
I got you. That's what I was going to tell you right now.
Good.
I barely knew multiplication and division. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
I didn't know multiplication and division, and I was in 7th grade. That's something I was supposed to learn grade.
That's right. That's right. And so what we're raising awareness about tonight is the experience that our young people are having in school, clear up to the 8th grade. You have 7th and 8th graders who are not up to par, and we're talking about in areas that are more urban, more densely populated with potentially disadvantaged people, where people are in the 7th or 8th grade and they're not doing effective math, they're not doing effective critical thinking types of activities, to the point where he knew himself that their curriculum wasn't up to standard. And so when we look at our communities and why our communities are not as competitive sometimes, why there is a lack of accountability sometimes,
I'm losing
I think there's
Cedric.
Yes, sir. What'd you say? Hello, I'm here.
Hey Cedric, I'm losing you, bro. I can't. I'm losing you. Going in and out. You going in and out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now I can. Now you can.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Basically, what you were saying about inner city schools, and I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to put down inner city schools, but
ladies and gentlemen, we seem to be having some issues, but Stafford is still in the building with us. And listen to what he's saying, because what he's saying has gravity to it. These are the realities of young people who go to public schools anywhere USA. Go ahead.
Now I'm saying it's like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? It's a domino effect, and certain it starts, like I said, it's a village, man. It's like I said, it brings us back to accountability, man. And it's just a simple fact that you got certain kids who are at a disadvantage, and the teacher is stressed. She barely can teach because she's dealing with difficult kids, and we're not learning anything. The kids are being so disruptive all day that some of the kids who want to learn are not getting a chance to learn. I used to get clowned, man. I used to get clowned because I was one of those students who did it. So, do you know it's sad when you're a kid who get clowned because he does his homework? He does his homework.
Explain to me what was happening. What do you mean you were getting clowned because you did your homework? What's that mean?
Yeah. So I was one of those kids who turned his homework in on time, or I did my assignments, or I got good grades on tests. Certain kids used to look at me like I was a nerd, or I was a teacher's pet, or a teacher's favorite. And it's like, why would I dumb myself down? Because, I don't have no loyalty to, certain people. I'm here to learn, man. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be flunking grades. That's stuff like that. Shit like that used to scare me, man. Flunking grades. I was like, no, I'm not nobody's fool. So, I did my homework. And another reason I did my homework and passed and got good grades, because I knew my parents were going to get in my ass. So, I did what I had to do. But, you got certain kids who felt like if you know too much, if you do too much, you get clowned for it. Or they think you're a nerd. Or they think you this, that, and the third. You get what I'm saying? It's
important. This is a very important topic that you raised right now. The fact that we have separation among us from people who want to achieve and want to get ahead academically, and people who don't for whatever reason. And I think it's a tragedy that we don't have enough people to step in and mediate the differences that young people have in the classroom, because the fact of the matter is a lot of young people have dysfunction at home. Your dysfunction at home was no different than anybody else's. It's just that you had a mentality of doing your work. Maybe you saw school as a way to escape the west side of Chicago. But there's a learning curve, because the other half of your class, they didn't think that way. And maybe their lives would have turned out differently if they had the right mentorship, if they had the right conversations, and if they had the right leadership.
Right.
How many members of those classes where you were made fun of for doing your schoolwork went to jail, or lost their life in the streets in the past 15 years?
Quite a few of them.
Right.
Quite a few
Right.
of them. Yeah.
And so we have a lot of people who are in a hurry to lose their lives. And I don't know, I don't believe that we have enough people intervening, standing in that gap to let people know you are running directly off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of us, too many of us, and when I say us, I'm talking about everybody, are running completely off the cliff, running off the cliff of life.
Right.
We're not having conversations about the value of one another. We're not having conversations about the value of our communities. We're not having conversations about the difference between education and knowledge so that you can prioritize education.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a tragedy, an ongoing tragedy in our communities. And when you talk about accountability, I think this is an excellent moment to raise awareness about the conversation that needs to be had in our communities about self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
about the fact that we've got sixth graders who are throwing their lives away right now. Seventh and eighth graders who are throwing their lives away right now.
Yes. Yes.
And we need to step in and we need to assist as best we can. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking to Stafford Echols. He is being transparent about his experience in public and Catholic schools, and the narrative that he's talking about still exists today. You guys sit tight because after this break, we're going to get more into these narratives and how to address them after this brief message. America's Next Motivator. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. America's Next Motivator. Hosted by me, Cedric Riley, and sponsored by the Pride Empowerment Network and our viewership. And we're back. Stafford, how you feeling out there?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I'm here with you. I'm talking to you, man.
Yep.
I can keep going, man. We 30 minutes in, but like I said, I can talk all night if you want.
Oh yeah, this is what we're here to do tonight. And so you are reminding us of the stark reality that exists in our middle schools clear across America. So now, as you transition into high school, what was going on in your world? What was happening at home? What was happening in your mind? And what was happening at school?
Well, everything took a big shift, Cedric. Like, when like I told you, when my mom was a person. I can tell you, man. I can't stress enough. Like I talk hours about my mother, but she was one of those people who was an overachiever. She didn't settle for less. She didn't do none of that. So she divorced my father around this time. I was switching schools around the time her and my father got divorced, and she married. And her new husband was like kind of financially stable. He had kids himself, but he was financially stable and he had money to put us in Catholic school. And I saw the difference. I found out that I was behind when I made it to 7th and 8th grade, but my education became a little bit better when I was there. And when I made it to high school, you know, it was I went to another suburban high school. I feel like public schools and private schools are different, but I went to public school for high school. And the teachers, they taught, I guess they taught us the best way they know how. But I passed. It wasn't hard curriculum, and it worked out. You know what I'm saying? It was better than I felt like suburb. That's another line that you're drawing. You have private charter schools or those type of schools. Then you have public schools, but then you have suburban public schools. Then you have inner city public schools. Everybody it's different for every sector. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So everyone is getting given certain resources, and they're able to make it accessible for those people in that circle. You get what I'm saying? And
That's right.
I've seen it in every sector. You get what I'm saying? I've seen it
Mm.
in inner city, I've seen it in suburbs, and I've seen it in private schools. I've seen so much in so many schools, man. You'll be surprised to know how they're dividing everything up,
Right.
teaching everyone.
That's right. Now, as you graduated high school, what were your thoughts about your future? Who did you intend to become?
Um, I wanted I started writing short stories. You get what I'm saying? And I wanted to become a screenwriter. Don't ask me why. I want to become a screenwriter because The Sopranos, and The Wire, which was two of the top series, TV show series, were hot. They were hot commodity, and I don't know, man. It just made me the way they told stories. I could relate to them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And that is what made me want to become a screenwriter. You know,
Okay.
motivated me to become a screenwriter. So I used to write little short stories, and I outlined a series based on my upbringing and things I saw in Chicago and people I knew, and I made a whole series out of it. Based off my motivation from The Sopranos and The Wire, and certain people used to try to look at me like, "You want to be a writer?" They're looking at you want to be a writer, and it was like, yeah,
Right.
I told you, I wrote as a kid, so it stuck with me. That's one of the things that stuck with me throughout life. So I was like, yeah, why try to be bigger with this, like tell stories on screen, and that's one of the things that made me want to become a screenwriter. That started my journey as a screenwriter. So when I
Talk to
graduated
me.
high school, I went off to Columbia College downtown, which is
Okay.
art school, artsy school, and I I did a semester, but because I was still working, I was also commuting back and forth. My mother, she was pregnant with my little brother at the time. She was pregnant, so I couldn't expect much out of her. I'm out of high school. I'm working. I got my own job. I didn't have a car that was reliable, and I was transporting, commuting from my house that was in the inner city suburbs and going to the city downtown, and it was a
Mhm.
commute. It was just all so much, man. It was so much piling up on me at one time, and I dropped out. It's one of those things that I wish I would have stuck with, because I remember when I got enrolled in Columbia College, they the guy, the advisor who knew my story, my backstory, where I got accepted and everything, he told me, he told my mother that your son could be sitting on a pile of gold and you guys don't even know it. And that's one of the things that made me want to, get my series off the ground. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? And like I said, but me not having certain support and certain people in my corner, and like I said, all the obstacles and adversities that was in my way, that made me discouraged. And it's no excuse, but it made me drop out.
Let me
And
ask you something.
go
Let me
ahead.
ask you something.
Hmm.
What What do you feel it would take for you to get back in school if you wanted to get back in school?
Well, if I wanted to get back to school, which I don't, I don't feel like I need to go back to school, especially for writing, screenwriting, because like I said, I became self-taught after that.
Okay.
But you know, it's one of those things that I should have just kept going with it. I didn't have a
Okay.
really good semester, but
Hmm.
life kicked in,
That's
and
right.
life comes, said life comes full circle, and basically I things wasn't going A1 in my home life, and it forced me to move out. And I end up moving in with my fiance, and she was in college, so that made me end up moving in with her while she was in away on her campus where we had our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I became self-taught, man. I don't regret my journey because
No, no, no,
I
no.
learned.
So
I
let's.
know. Go ahead.
You
Go ahead.
continued your education in a different way.
There you go.
What types of books did you start to read? How did you become self-taught? Who did you look up to in the screenwriting world? Let's start there. Go ahead.
Okay. I can start off with who's my main inspiration. My main inspiration for screenwriting was John Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
The late John Singleton, may he rest in peace. He was a visionary. He told stories. He told classics in the culture that we know about.
What were
Uh,
some of John Singleton's classics?
Man, baby
Boys in
boy,
the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. Of course, that's number one. Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Shaft, Rosewood. You get what I'm saying? Like, he told
Mhm.
stories for the culture,
That's
and
right.
when I found out he was a screenwriter, I said, that he's one of the people that, man, he is my main inspiration. I'm not going to lie to you. He's my main
Mhm.
inspiration, and it just made me want to pursue that journey, like to see where he came from and to see how he got off the ground, got his name out there and everything. He just said, man, don't sleep on yourself. Just keep going, you know? And that was one of the things that pushed me and like kind of like made a trailblazer for me to just go. Like he was the one who set me off.
Mhm.
And becoming self-taught, like I said, I moved out of my mother's, and when I was 21, I moved in with my fiance, and she was in college. We got an apartment together, and down there, she had access to certain libraries and everything. So I used to go to the libraries, and I'll go look at scripts. I started out
Okay.
with my favorite movies and shows, because
Mhm.
when you know certain things, you see it on screen. If you go read it and see how it transpired, how they formatted it into a screenplay, it kind of gives you a better understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I did. I started just reading scripts. I started reading a ton of scripts. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just to get the idea, get the language, get the lingo, just get an idea how to write. Do what I have to do. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's how I became self-taught. And that was kind of like my stepping stone.
I have a question
And
for you. I
go
have a
ahead,
question.
go ahead.
So now, bringing up, our current space here in America, I think that there are a lot of areas where somebody who is self-taught, somebody who has an authentic lens, can express some messages that are just absolutely key in today's society. Uh,
Mhm.
what sorts of projects are you working on today?
Well, I'm I'm planning on getting I'm planning on getting my foot in the door as far as directing and producing whatever, but I solely write. That's my main focus. And
Mhm.
certain people say, you shouldn't you should master one thing before it's up wearing being wearing many hats, but that's not
Mhm.
true neither. You're gonna have to expand. You're gonna have to spread your wings,
That's right.
because you can't wait on nobody to do anything for you. I'm
Right.
impressed by how you learn how to edit, like, and
Mhm.
it's basically, you got to be you got to make yourself more accessible, make yourself more of an asset. You have to be aware of many hats. And me, I write. What I'm saying, I write is something that's my hashtag. That's something I live by. I tell stories. I'm one person who likes to write and tell stories. So I've written five features, five feature lengths, and I wrote one series. Now,
Wow.
yeah, man. Of course, they're gonna have to go through their remix stage, because
Mm.
nothing's complete. That's why I don't like to use the word complete. Nothing's complete until it's shot. You get what I'm saying? So,
Wow. Okay.
so yeah, I'm sitting on certain projects or whatever, but they still have to be produced. They still have to be shot. And you know, me personally, I'm in a position right now where I'm trying to I'm my goal is to land management. I want to get representation so it can get me to certain rooms, and I can share these projects. I can pitch these ideas, and you know, everyone can see what Stafford Echols is really made of.
Right. That's right.
Individuals, certain
Um,
people in the industry, certain people in the industry. Go ahead.
I have several favorites that I watch on YouTube
Mhm.
by independent screenwriters who have their own idea of how to tell the story of their communities. There are several of them. You've got a series called 124, which was based out of Harlem. You got another one called Mister, based out of Mount Vernon.
Mhm.
These are all shows that they've got probably more than 20 or 30 episodes, several seasons, and hundreds of thousands of views on these shows. It's a matter of if you know, you know. But there's a cult following, and there's a huge demand for people like you, Stafford Echols, to tell the story from your perspective of your community. And
Mhm.
so I think that you're on to something huge, absolutely huge. We could be looking at the next big screenwriter of our time. Can you talk to us about one of the lead characters you created? What are the nuances of that character, and what series is that character inside of? Give us a taste of your hit series. Go ahead.
Well, my biggest character, I'd have to say, is inspired by me. Um, for that reason, my upbringing, again, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
my upbringing, things I've seen in life, things I've come across, and things I've overcame. And I'm surprised that I'm still here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I'm not one of those people who, I'm not gonna say I was just a street kid, because you ain't got to be a street kid to get hurt these days. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Right. That's right.
but I've seen a lot, man. I've seen the good, bad, and ugly, and I honestly didn't think I was gonna make it out of high school. To be honest with you,
And,
Cedric.
and why is that? I also think that's interesting. We have people, including myself, at
Mhm,
times who don't imagine themselves as an old man or an old
mhm,
woman. You
mhm,
don't imagine yourself as a 70-year-old or 60-year-old or
mhm,
80-year-old. For
mhm,
some reason, it seems like you don't look that far into the future, given your background or the things that are happening in your environment. But
mhm.
why did you think that you wouldn't make it out of high school?
Uh, Again, man. I seen a lot of death, man. Um, I seen a lot of death. I seen it come many ages. I don't care if they're young, from a baby to being a kid, teenager, to middle age to old. I seen death
Mm-hmm.
so close, so many
Mm-hmm.
times, man. And my first, I don't know. I had a cousin who he died at 13. Me and him was kind of close. He died
Wow.
at 13. I was 11. I was 11 years old. He was 13, and he died 3 days before his birthday. And I was just
How did
like,
he
when
die, if I can ask?
he died on a it was kind of like a tractor, like an accident. He was
Okay.
in Kankakee. He was in Kankakee, and he had a accident dealing with a tractor, and he you know what I'm saying, he had, I don't know what happened, something happened where the thing ejected him the wrong way, and
Mm-hmm.
it caused some type of trauma when
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, when he died, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is somebody who I grew up with, man. And
Right.
I was 11 at the time. He was 13, and again, he died 3 days before his birthday. So when I saw that, it was like, it can happen to him, it can happen to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to get this thing as a kid. I used to get this type of, like, what I'm saying, like, kind of, it did traumatize me. I'm not gonna lie, man,
Right.
because this is my cousin, and I think to myself, man, am I gonna die 3 days before my birthday? You know,
Mm.
and it was just one of those things, man. I just really didn't think I was gonna make it. You seeing in high school, especially when seeing certain things urban, you know, you just don't think you're gonna make it out, man. You just
That's
don't think
right.
you're
I
gonna make
hear
it out.
you.
And me personally, I'm the type person, man. Like when summertime and when it's fun to get warm or whatever, you thinking about, you want to enjoy the weather. Yeah, I want to enjoy the weather, but I want to also survive another a summer in
Mhm.
Chicago because that's a fear,
Mhm.
man. Because a lot of people are just dying, dropping. They dropping like flies left and right, man. You could be in the wrong place at the wrong time, or it just me personally, I just never saw myself making it that far. And
What do you say?
like I
What do
told
you
you,
say? What do you say to the young writer out there who might live in the west side of Chicago and they're not sure what their next step should be in order to really express themselves and find a way to make their life a better thing? What advice do you have for the young writers out there today?
man, I tell them, don't give up on yourself. What I'm saying, don't stop promoting yourself. Don't dumb yourself down. Somebody's watching. Somebody's looking for you. Somebody's looking for you. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm.
got a gift. You got a talent. Don't lose your voice, and you're gonna find solace one day. And it's just like, some of those kids, like I said, I was one of them, man. I lost hope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't have anybody telling me, oh, you should uh keep going. Or you know what I'm saying? That's one of the
Hold
things.
up. Hold
Go ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
Hold up. This is absolutely huge. And this is a moment where you connect to so many thousands of people across America today. You lost hope. What
Yeah.
happened to you in that moment where you lost hope that enabled you to recover, to bounce back, to get where you are today? What was that spark for you? How did you pull yourself up? What pulled you up? Who pulled you up? How did you get up off that ground?
Mm. Man, it was God, man. Like
Wow.
for real. And
Okay.
I'm not just saying that to just say it, and it's real. It was basically um if something's with you, man, if you can't go a single day without thinking about it, if it just sits with you, if it's something that you are passionate about, the shit eats you up. It consumes you. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's how you know that this is your calling. This is your calling card. This is what you got to do. And basically, man, I just always turn. One of the things, I don't care who I stop talking to, whether it be a female, whether it be friends, whether anybody, who I stop dealing with. My writing never left me, man. It was always right there. It was something I can always turn to. And I said, writing is very therapeutic. And you just, it's one of those things that I could never turn away from at all. And it was right there for me. I go in my bag and I come up with a new story idea. I come up with it, and it's like everything is a seed idea. You keep watering. It's like a garden. You keep watering it. You know what I'm saying? And you produce a story out of it. Man, you'll be surprised how that plays out.
Right.
And you know, that's just what it was, man. It wasn't nobody saying, "Ooh, why you not writing?" No, I can tell you, it's like holding a mirror to yourself, man. It all starts with you.
So staying true to your passion, staying true to your talent, your gift enabled you to really push through the hardest times of your life. That's what I'm taking from what you're saying right now. And I want to encourage people out there, if you have something that you're passionate about, maybe it's your career, maybe it's a talent that you have, maybe it's your family. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, stay true to it. Stick to it. Keep a hold of it. Run back to it. If you've left it, run back to it. Go back and get it because it's that which is going to help you to get up off the ground? Is that what's going to help you to get through the toughest times of your life? And that is accountability. That's what accountability is. Accountability is, you know what? I might feel down and out, but I'm a writer, and so I'm going to write. I might not be sure where my life is going to be next year, but I'm a writer, so I'm going to write. So everybody out there, let's all do this together. Let's identify that in our lives, which we need to stay true to, which we need to continue with, and hold on to it. No matter what happens tomorrow, and no matter what happened yesterday. That's accountability. I commend you for that. I commend you for that. Now, what is the process of taking your work to the big screen? Do you just sit down with a videographer? Do you hire actors? Are you a one-man show? What's in the bag from you?
Basically, man, and it all starts out with, I tell you, writing is very hard, man, and it's not about the writing. It's not about if you can write. It's not about you telling a story. It's all about, man, anybody. It's all about you building relationships.
Mhm.
You putting seeds, planting seeds in certain areas that people that can get you into those doors. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you can have all the talent in the world and nobody would know. They wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They will know. So me, like I said, I don't direct. I haven't got to the stage of producing my own work, but I come with the content. I create content, and basically I show people. Say it's all about it's different avenues you can take.
Mhm.
Now it's either you be the indie artist who creates your own, you're filming, you're producing, you putting out all that into your own work, or you're a writer, solely a writer, which I am, and and then you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Basically, it's it, you got to take, but that's where I am. I'm in the process of trying to land representation
Mhm.
and get through the door that way. Put it that way.
Do you prefer for a lot of people do a lot of projects out there? Do you prefer the PC or the Mac, and why?
I don't have a Mac. I have an HP, but I don't know. I need to invest to a Mac. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would
Okay.
invest into it, and I heard it's a good investment because that way I can use my own camera work. I can use my own thing. I can edit my own videos. So
Mhm.
me personally, I don't have a Mac, but I heard nothing but good things about the Mac. So I probably would
Right.
end up investing in that.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think when you're doing a project that's going to end up being content rich, it's important to look at the Mac family of products, or the Apple family of products.
Mhm,
And so
mhm,
I just wanted to ask you that question because I see that you're developing a lot of content, and I wondered if you had a preference. Anytime we have a work that we're doing on a computer, you stay true to it, it's going to build up and it's going to grow. And we have to
mhm.
be well suited in order to get into the future. So now, as we round third base here, I've got a few questions left for you. What is the legacy that you intend to leave here on earth before you go? What's the legacy that you want to leave?
Man, I just want to leave stories, leave a legacy, basically telling my stories, telling my truth, being a person who inspires those after me. We all have a story in us. We all have something to tell. We all have a tale to tell. So, it's basically sticking to your truth, and leaving something that's going to inspire someone to go out there and tell their story or do
Okay.
something that's going to change the game. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. We're down to the final 15 seconds of the show. I got 3 questions for you. The first, what is survival to you?
Survival is basically keeping your head above water. Not getting swallowed or sucked in to the BS that comes with life. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come at you full throttle from different
Mhm.
angles, but how you bob and weave and dodge those hits, because sometimes they might connect, sometimes they won't. But it's all
Okay.
about how resourceful you are, and
What is what is success to you?
success is, man, everyone knowing your name, knowing your work, and it leaving an impact on them, and basically again drives back to leaving a legacy.
What is greatness to you?
Greatness is just power, holding having power. And when I say power, I mean having a voice, having an impact, and just, man, when people hear your name, they know what you stood for. That's
That's right.
greatness.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, get your crown emojis ready. Stafford Echols, I want to let you know that we've listened to your story today. I love the way that you pushed through adversity. You educated yourself. You got up off the ground. You continue to write, and now you have content that is ready to impact the world. Accountability is key. We're giving you respect today while you're still alive to receive it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your crown emojis into the chat. We're giving you a crown today while you're still alive to receive it. Give you a crown today. Everybody put your crown emojis into the chat. We are letting you know, letting the world know that you, Stafford Echols, you are America's next motivator.
Appreciate that, man. That's dope. That's dope. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Step,
Thanks for stopping
step
by
two.
today, all right?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Each and every episode of America's Next Motivator is going to have something here for you. All you've got to do is stop by and pick up.